Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the WP Builds newsletter. This particular episode is covering the week commencing the 30th of April 2018, and it was published on the 7th of May 2018. I'd just like to say sorry, I'm a little bit late. It is holiday time in the UK at the moment, and so basically I'm a few hours behind schedule because I was out with my family late last night. So there you go. Right, let's get stuck into it. So over at make.wordpress.org, we have news about, as we always do, Gutenberg. There are a few little minor things this week, and it was released not long ago on the 4th of May. Basically, just a few little things, refinements and improvements to the capabilities of blocks and the plugins API, adds a new spacer block for generating visual space, and the color palette component has been improved. We're now on version 2.8, and actually the changelog is huge. It's like 100 lines or so, so really ramping up production just before the release in the next few weeks. Okay, the next one is on the wptavern.com website, and it's saying that Jetpack is now on 6.1, and they've added in a few features. They've added in improvements to the word ads module. They've added a new filter so that the do not track tag is available. And last but by no means least, they've made things slightly more GDPR compliant. More of that later, but basically they've added little modal pop-ups, little information points that you can roll over, and it will add information for your users. So there we go. Good stuff. The next one is over again at make.wordpress.org, and it's to say that from now on there will be a trusted authors program. Basically, this is to reduce the burden on the team who are reviewing things like plugins and themes. If you continue to be a good guy, they will award you with trusted author status, and that will mean that things will become smoother for you when you're submitting your things in the future. They've also got a revocation process, so if you don't follow the rules or you submit code which is considered to be poor, then they can take away those rights. And I think really it's just a good way of adding some more kudos to those people who obey the rules and churn out good quality code. And certainly if that badge, if you like, goes in the WordPress repo, it's something that I'm going to be looking out for. Okay, great. This is a little bit of an advertisement for Pagely in that they've got an article called "These are the biggest headaches in WordPress for 2018." And apparently the top three things when they polled their users were performance issues, security issues, and site-breaking updates. Now, I don't know if this is coincidental to the fact that they are clearly a hosting company. Nevertheless, quite interesting if that's your thing and you are trying to persuade your clients that WordPress is a good thing. It might be a good idea to put these things front and center in your documentation or your pitch. The fact that performance, security, and site breaking are genuine worries of people. Don't know if that's just for developers or end clients. Nevertheless, worth noting anyway. Okay, the next one is from the WP Tavern again. It's to say that WordSesh, which is like a WordCamp but online, it's a virtual conference. It's happening on the 25th of July, and it enables people who simply can't get on a plane or take part in WordCamps to meet up, if you like. So yeah, look out for that, because it's coming around very soon, in a couple of months or so, and might be worth signing up for. Okay, WooCommerce are now making it easier to add products to posts and pages with a new products block for Gutenberg. It looks quite interesting, actually. They've got a nice animated GIF, or is it a video, on their website where they demonstrate how simple it's going to be to create products from now on with this products block. It looks really good and intuitive, and it's exactly the sort of thing that I'm hoping will happen in a post-Gutenberg environment. People will create wonderful blocks to take care of things that currently are complicated. So, for example, you can put the title in the images and arrange a grid of images just with this little block, and it's just a nice little peek into the future of Gutenberg, and I quite liked it. Okay, the next one is over at WPMU Dev, and it's just to say that WordPress is turning 15. Crikey, 15. Certainly I haven't been using it for that long, but it's a retrospective article looking back at all the things that have happened over those 15 years. So, for example, it lists that in 2001 the concept of WordPress was formed. In 2003, WordPress launches. When did we get to? 2004, plugins arrive, and so on and so forth. 2006, WordPress starts to grow, and on it goes. And it's just a nice little article into WordPress's history. And if you're into that kind of thing like me, might be worth looking at. Okay, the next one is the WordFence site. They set up at a recent WordCamp in Atlanta, they set up a capture the flag contest whereby over a few days, well, I think it was 1.5 days, people had to come, and if they turned up at the event live, they could try to hack a site. And a little 11-year-old boy rocked up, and to everybody's great amazement came third out of lots and lots of contestants. So absolutely nothing to do with WordPress in a sense, but just wonderful. An 11-year-old child taking interest in WordCamps and hacking and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, fascinating. Lovely, lovely little story. Go and check it out. Okay, the next one is just to say that GeneratePress, a very popular WordPress theme, has now reached version 2.1. It includes additional font awesome goodness. They've got a whole bunch of new icons. There's fewer HTTP requests. The CSS has been cleaned up. And they've simplified the mobile menu CSS. So, as always, good stuff coming out of Tom Osborne, and I would highly recommend it. Go and check out GeneratePress and the changelog. Okay, now then, this is the first one which is not specifically WordPress related, and from here on in we do 5 little bits that are not specifically WordPress, and it's a GDPR privacy policy template thing. Now, it's not really a template, it's just an article. It's on the termsfeed.com website, and it's just giving you guidance about what you need to include in your privacy policy. It's quite a long article. I always like long form stuff when you're taking things seriously, and it includes all the things that you need to include and things that you might need to exclude and so on and so forth. So I would highly recommend checking that out. Okay, the next one is the fact that Twitter, for a while recently, has been storing passwords in plain text. So I don't need to go into the long and the short of it, but if you've got a Twitter account, which I'm sure you all have, go and change its password right away. You should be doing that. This came out on the 3rd of May. It's on TechCrunch, but I'm sure it appeared everywhere else as well. Okay, next one is, this is the Motherboard article, and it's motherboard.vice.com. And really, this is astonishing. This is a piece of art which looks as though it could belong on the walls of the National Portrait Gallery in London. And actually, it's of a lady dressed in sort of old clothes with an old-fashioned hairdo and beautiful dress and so on. But then you find out it's actually all done with HTML and CSS. There's no, no Photoshop, nothing. And it's stunning. Apparently it's quite interesting to look at it in old browsers because her chin goes all quirky and things. But it's fascinating. Go and have a look. Genuinely a stunning piece of work. It must have taken Diane Smith, who made this, absolutely ages. But kudos to her. I think it's brilliant. Okay, as if you didn't know, the NSA are scooping up data and sucking it up on a big scale. But apparently over the last year, according to TechCrunch, they sucked up over 500 million call records. This is in the USA, and they tripled their metadata collection. There's a great big article about what they've been storing and why they've been storing it, but I don't need to say much more than that. They're just doing it. So, amazing. It's just ramping up. And last but by no means least for this week, we have got the fact that Google is launching the .apps domain over the coming days. Basically, if you want to get something .app as a domain, you can apply in the next few days. I think the 8th of May, so that's tomorrow, is the first day that it goes on general release. So if you've got something that you want to be .app, so WP Builds .app, for example, watch out. It can happen in the next few days. I think today, on Monday, it's going to be available, but only for people who've pre-registered at great expense. Okay, that's everything I've got. Thanks for listening once again to the WP Builds newsletter. I hope you have a really nice week, and I'll see you on Thursday for the podcast. Thanks. Bye-bye.